Hey everybody, it's the Crypto Sniper coming back at you, talking to you a lot nowadays. Lots of things going on. Oh, isn't it good? I've got some fun things. I think this is going to be one of the more fun videos we do. I'm going to have three things I'm going to do. I'm going to analyze the markets for you. I'm going to look at Bitcoin. I'm going to take a look and give you some short time frame potential trades on a number of alts that could be setting up. That's right. So make sure you stay right till the end because we'll be dropping some of them in. I'm going to talk to you about a kind of IQE type game on probabilities. I'm going to pose a question to you. And the lady with the highest IQ, apparently, there's something to be said on that. I'm not sure it's entirely true. They said 228. In actual fact, that's an age projection type thing. Most IQs are measured inside a 160, 180 range as a maximum. But anyway, that's going to be a fun problem for you to think about. And I'm going to pose the question, and I'm going to come back to you with the answer and why, and a little bit of explanation. And I'm going to tie that into probability-based forecasting as well. So we've got a monkey puzzle for you. We've got chart analysis on both Bitcoin and a number of alts that are setting up. Moves to the upside. Yep, and we'll give you some of the names, one or two, and then we'll drag you into one or two near the end as well to keep you watching. Fool the algorithm, hit the like button, and we're going to do a little entertainment section. Yes, we've got my favorite buddy. I just smelt this guy from the first time I saw him, the super Chad of Bitcoin, Mikey Saylor, him of the straw man arguments. We've got him being a little bit rugged, I think, by Patrick David Bettis, is it? The Iranian. I've probably cocked his name up. I'll give it to you properly in a second. Being asked about Satoshi. And the danger size. By the way, did a program in statement analysis and watching people for truth. It really matters to me to get to truth. It's the kind of thing I obsess about. And boy, are there so many red flashing lights in the way he conducts himself in this whole thing. As I say, psyop, man, psyop, dark state actor, took the money to bring the prison over you. That's my take. That's what I'm sticking on. But anyway, let's do some chart analysis, what you usually used to see. And for that, we need charts. Yes, sirree, Bob. By the way, I'm going to do cross market analysis as well for you. So here's a quick look at a couple of big moves that are important. I'm going to just take my busy charts that are kind of messy when I'm working on them. Real work is messy. You know, you do the tidy charts for later for a little bit of show and tell. It's a bit like the school project where everything is glued in nice and pasted on the cardboard and labeled. The real work is messy. So let's get into this. First of all, the macro move from, that was the 25K. See the super low vol that was sitting here. We were waiting for Lowell Finkelstein to be given his license to crack on with whatever he was going to do, which is, of course, an ETF and all the tokenization that he fantasizes about. There is also a projection poll from round about the midway mark over here. We had quite a lengthy stall out and a bit of a sell-off over here. And I'm going to be showing you the relevance. We're coming up to the upside projection. They all get projected from the low of what is a larger continuation pattern, which was a descending megaphone structure, okay, on bull poles. And that is all part of our specific theory. That's why we got and gave you the break as and when it happened in the around about the second week of October as it happened. And then we reasserted and we warned that you could get a return move. What a great entry coming back there was, and or there. And then you were up and away. And guess what? It's the Trump trade. Trump is the king of crypto, my friends. If anything to do with Trump, it's the acceleration of the whole digital crypto game, and it's the mainstreaming of crypto, and it's all the little cuddle bears that have been working on status tokens all gathering around him. This is the new theme. He knows nothing about it. He's been told, he's managed, of course, you know that. But let's have a look at some of those projections. The big poll all the way from the 25K. It's not the absolute low, but it was a serious resting point and a real loss of decay. The absolute low being in and around 15, 16. So we put the eyes back on so that you can understand where these targets are. And there's a key point just coming out of this. So when you see this, the first projection is 96,627. This could mean a 100 run or a stall just before the 100. So we balk at the 100K and we pull back and we churn and we wind up and we go, whoa, 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 big decision. Big fence to jump. Oh, we're a little bit intimidated. Come back, pull back, sideways, wind up. You know, kind of how gold behaved at $1,000, $2,000, and is likely to behave, in my opinion, at $3,000. Bitcoin's facing the big number, 100K, guys. You know, after 10K, 100K is a long way away, and it's the big one. It is truly the big one. It's bigger than 50, it's bigger than 75, it's bigger than them all. It's like $100 oil, etc., etc. We are coming up to that 96K target. The larger projection is a 145, which sees us go 150. So that's, again, from the beginning of the ETFs theme, up you go, and then the fundamentals of the Trump trade and the acceleration of your digital money era. Yes, and I think it's going to take huge strides, which could actually mean everybody who's got the banana for Bitcoin with diminishing returns each cycle gets a extra surge. So sometimes you get this convexity like that, and it looks like it's going to top out, diminishing return, and suddenly new driver, and it stops being the banana. People think bananas forever. No, not the banana forever. Sometimes it changes, new drivers, and this is going to be a lot of institutional money, and it's also going to be money flight capital from the fiat debt system into, and it's got to be the beginning of the moving of the hundreds of billions moving into trillions, and for that you need to inflate the scale, the size, the liquidity, and Tether's role. I did the video that there's so much more to say on that, and there's people that have done it better than me in the form of Whitney and our Bitcoin editor, and I gave you a little look-see on it, but I'll be referring to that quite regularly. So you could get a little bit of a slowdown after the 96 and a rest period. Don't forget, you've gone almost straight up since this return move over here. Boom, 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 bosh. A little bit of grinding, and squeezing higher. Yes, indeed. And by the way, Bitcoin dominance, this is that inverted chart that I've sometimes shown people and said, eventually this turns, but as yet, again, a down move. Got a bit choppy, but then again, a down move. So we still got a lot of Bitcoin. This looked like, can we get a bit slow down? No, it can keep coming. It can keep coming. Remember, it can still be a valid HVF right down to 70%. It's still a valid HVF. It only becomes an issue for this potential structure if Bitcoin dominance goes through 73.56. Then the whole idea is scotched. It's not going to be an upside HVF on the inverted chart of the Bitcoin dominance. The key trends of this crypto run so far has been the fact that Bitcoin dominance is it. Now, there have been certain coins that have moved higher in percentage, but actually most people would have been best served being long Bitcoin. The liquidity benefits, the reduction in volatility compared to the other tokens, it's outperformed immensely. And this was the breakout out of this top where you know our orange box that we've done for you before, only it's on the right way round. That was round here. That was this muffin top over here. And you were as low as 39%, and you are looking, you're already well through 60.83. So this has been Bitcoin being the honey badger. There's no getting away from that. No matter what I'll say about Mikey Saylor. He's getting the money. He's getting the money, and he'll be made to look smart until maybe, who knows what happens. They might rug pull the whole Bitcoin when the CBDCs come, or they'll just surveillance it into being completely trapped digital gold that you'll leave and get your capital gains on, and everybody knows how much you have, and it'll try be whatever it'll be. But anyway, so Bitcoin dominance has been the theme, and you're getting that coming through again. And we always start each move after a little bit of a tiring out with a Bitcoin movement. So Bitcoin remains the driver. It's still the 4x4, the bungee cord. You get a little bit of catch up from the trailer that's on the other end of the bungee cord every now and then, but then it starts to slow once the elasticity in the cord is reducing, and you need power on the car, the king of the crypto realm, as gold is the king of the entire anti-fiat, to put its foot down to keep climbing the hill, and then you get new tension and they stretch out again, and then you get again an alt run. But we do have short time frames, and we do think a number of alts are going to have a little bit of a spurt. which may slow this downward move on the Bitcoin dominance. Remember, this is an inverted chart. We have it on the inversions. You can always check when I have that on inversions. You know, you're looking at Bitcoin dominance, inverted percentage go down. That's 100%. Okay, so we've spoken about that before. What have we got for you? Well, let's have a look what else we want to show you. So let's give you a wee peek into Bitcoin on the crosses. So that is Bitcoin against gold. You can see it's continuing to move up. It's made a new high. It's a small candle. It's only just started 2 weeker. We can drop into a 1 weeker, and you can see it's continuing, and it's taken out this high. So you're having a breakout in Bitcoin's relative performance to gold. So that is a good sign. And out of all of this, you are starting to threaten this high. You're going to get to the point where you take out this high. And just want to show you this high because I'm going to be needing to refer back to this point. This high is the 64K high, but it was actually, when you divide by gold, the absolute high. You didn't surpass it on the 69K run. This tells me that actually that was the top for Bitcoin. Forget about the dollar's role in that. When you look at Bitcoin gold, gold is already starting to claw Bitcoin back. At this point, you failed to make a new high when you went to 69. And it's the same for another cross pair that I'll be showing you in a minute. So we're calling that the high. It makes an important difference because I'm going to make an assumption about when I think Bitcoin will top next year. When does Bitcoin top next year? And we'll be using Rect Capital's chart, which is quite interesting, so credit to him. And we'll be showing that as well as to why. So, so we're calling the first high, the 64K high, the actual high, and saying the dollar is an anomaly. Gold is a real reserve asset. And what it's often compared to, the tech, the IXIC, as well. And you'll notice that tech shares started to do a bunch better as well. So the $69,000 was a lower low compared to the 64. So I prefer the benchmark of what is more comparable. The reserve asset gold, not the inflated dollar. And so for me, it was a localized high. The 69 and 64 was the actual high. And it's weird to say that because you go, 69 bigger than 64, sniper. Are you crazy or something? No, 64 was higher in gold ounces and in tech NASDAQ comparisons. And now you can see against the NASDAQ, you've got real Bitcoin overperformance. This was it. And you can see the points where it started to be, okay, we're back in a bull market. And we called it there, but then you had the pullbacks all the way, the delay before the eventual ETF came. Boom. Then you went there. Then we were in another pullback, broadening structure to the downside. You could see you started to stir and you broke out of there early. You could have got all of this early, guys. It was October. That was 67K. You're talking about something that's got a target of 96K and is not far away. That's 50% you missed on by being late. That's why you hit the link below and you get either our free course because you don't know who we are and you want to understand HVF method, and I'm going to be doing something on exactly that with this probability game, which is kind of interesting. And this is what HVF does for you. It increases the probability. There's no guarantees, but in a balance of probability games you make better decisions, and in the long run you get more winners, or you win more on your winners. This is really important, so listen to that detail. So getting in early makes a big difference because you're getting 50%. You're now approaching 96. It could stall. Some late guys FOMOing in could buy the 97, 98, and you could maybe run 101, and then you could pull back to 91. And they get washed out into negative equity for quite an extended period. They either hodl through it, hope it doesn't go lower, and pay a lot of leverage costs with negative P&Ls, whilst they could have been in at 67K. So that was a clear breakout there. It did pull back, return move to the falling wedge, which you got. And it was kind of similar for gold. Let's go back to the previous chart. It should be, because Bitcoin is the chart we're drawing here. I just didn't draw the falling wedge on here. So you see it there. I have a number of versions of this chart, but you can see it was quite a clear break there. That was the turning, and then you had the pullback. Let me take all the draws off for a second. Then you had the pullback period. Now, because gold was slightly more stable, this is less of a broadening structure. It's more of a flag. But again, you see it there. Boom, you're breaking up and you were coming across, and it was the third time. Once, twice, 3 times, and this is where you expect your break. You see that role that it plays. So getting in early is the difference between 67 to 69k entries at something that is now in excess of 90k versus FOMOing in on the news and on the highs. So cross market analysis, new highs against tech, not yet new highs against gold, because gold has moved quite a bit and has actually outperformed the tech market this year. That's right, outperformed the tech market this year. So not yet a new high gold, but likely to come. Likely to come. And further to that, we did the draw of why this is an HVF and what your multiple will be in a previous video. Go and watch that, where we showed you the target and how much more Bitcoin could overperform gold for that period, and when to get out to swap your Bitcoin Satoshis for gold ounces at a super inflated rate. Don't forget, this was up to here was 34 and down here was about 8 or 9. So that's a lot of extra gold ounces you picked up during the gold bull run that you can flip back into Bitcoin at a much better rate. Okay, so this is the understanding and how you maximize in the market. Let's take you to that very interesting tweet. So this was the lady, as I say, question the IQ claim of 228. It's at the very, very top. We can put this link in the description. But this particular quiz is kind of interesting. It's known as the Monty Hall problem. And it's kind of interesting because these kind of tests are counterintuitive sometimes, and it's difficult to actually get things right. What is the probability play? So 3 doors. You have 3 doors. 3 doors. Wait. Let's bring it back down. Stop moving it around. 3 doors. One of them has your dream car in it, and the other is a goat. Let's assume you don't actually want a goat. They're not a bad livestock animal to keep. Let's say a booby prize, rather. A hand grenade with the pin pulled. How about that? And you've got 3 doors, and one has your car, and the other 2 has the booby prize in it. And you're told to pick, and you pick a particular door. That's 1, 2, or 3. You go ahead and picks one. So let's say you pick 1. That's the one, and you choose it. The host then goes and reveals one of the booby prizes, the goat door. And now there's 2 goat doors, remember? So you only had a 1 in 3 chance of being right when you started. And he says, well, hey, this is a goat. And there's the goat behind the door, and you go, oh. And he says, I give you an option. You can keep your existing door, or you could switch. Is there a probability angle in this that you should do one or the other, or does it not matter? Is there a probability angle in all of this, or does it not matter? Okay, think about that, and we're going to come back to that little brain teaser, the sniper's brain teaser session with you today. Let's see what you would do. Do you switch or do you stay? And that, hopefully everyone's understood the question. Let's look at the next of the charts while you ponder that particular issue. So Lumen's got a similar structure to XRP. Many of you know that. It'll be slightly higher beta, but it's lagging a bit further behind. It had a better RH2. That's a secondary high, kind of high. So it had a better bull market out of 2021, but it's had a flatter, lower vibe since the bull market, while XRP is a little bit higher. This said, it's moved a great deal recently. We're looking for it to see, is this the main breakout versus that third high? Or will it make a third high and pull back? Both of these have quite high potential moves, by the way, and our forecastathon, which is a guess right now, still suggests anywhere between $6 to $7 could be indeed possible. Maybe $5 to $7. Don't forget, right now you are 26 cents. I call it 25 cents. You're 4 times to get to $1, and then you have 5, 6, or 7 again. So 5 times 4 is 20 times 20x. 6 is obviously going to be 24, and 7 is going to be 28, going on 30 times. So we'll see how the pattern settles once we're clear on what our third impulse is. But that one's going to do well too, along with XRP. But this is a macro call. I'm going to bring you down to a lower time frame and discuss, we've done Bitcoin on its own. So here's ADA. This is one you missed that was in the community, brought to one of us, our many ADA fans, now watching it on a lower time frame. Finally, ADA is coming alive and is setting up small time frame squeezes. So we are talking more positively about it now. And of course, the Trumpy trade thing has sure done a wonder of good for ADA. And we're actually seeing the 90 cents likely to fall from here. We were in up top here, in and around these areas here. So we were speculating, taking early entries. We've now got a stop moved up to here. Initially, it was down there. So we've been able to lock it in because the HVF funnel is a bit higher. And you have just set up a wind up at our second interim target. That is that line. It's a perfect draw, 90 cents to be run. So that doesn't mean it's the top. It's a minute 30 forecast. That just means you get congestion, bit of chop, maybe you have a little bit of overperformance, maybe you have a lot of overperformance, but often you turn. You can see even here, you've had a response at the second interim. Our targets matter. You had a response at our first interim after pumping through it. You had a little flag pullback. But obviously, the deeper the interims become, second interims to targets, the bigger the gestation pullback period. You can see that is smaller than that, although this is probably a wind up, and what's likely to follow will probably be a longer period of gestation or pullback. So it's not a bad time to take some profits. So there you go. You've got ADA given to you from us and our community. You could be trading ones like these, and there are others. I only tend to give names of big market caps that I could have no material gain for pushing you in. I expect them to perform regardless. You are not going to be dominant. You're not going to move the markets. We never shill small cap tokens to try get people to pump bags on holdings we have that other have done. So we stay focused in the top 25, usually talking about the top 10 or top 15. So who else is also set up similarly? Well, because we talk so much about XRP, we're going to be, of course, mentioning XRP on the same time frame. So a lot of alts. We've just had a period of Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin's creeping up and is bleeding out. It's leading again as the king. Remember that anti-fiat diagram. If you can't find it, go register for our free course with your email address. Get our newsletter. Get access to it, and you will see the anti-fiat draw. Where you can see exactly what we mean. When you have pause periods, Bitcoin comes out leading. The king after arrest always leads the charge. And then he steps back behind the troops later on as the charge of the light brigade goes ahead and they charge on ahead. But he stands up first every single time. So we've got XRP here in the similar time frame as the ADA one. A little further behind, it hasn't yet triggered. We think it's making its third impulse at the moment. I think you could maybe get it a touch lower. It could have a final dip down like this. And then we feel that that 30-minute is also going to break to the upside. Don't forget, they're all part of the Trumpy trade. They've all been talking to Uncle Donald. Yeah, like he has anything to do with your new digital prison. He just does exactly what he's told. But Brad Garlinghouse had met Trump. This is all the goss, just so that you realize that it's coming. Indeed, coming it is. But possibly a little deeper dip before we expect a move to the upside. How far does it go? How far does it go? Indeed, we'll put in our HVF draw tool and give you a guide. This one hasn't yet made, as I've said, a low yet. We think it might dip a little more. But if I just set this down, this is our PineScript tool for all our community members after they've done all their trading. That's quite a deep dip. I don't think it goes that deep. I can actually massage that number a little bit and go, well, let's change that. I think you do better than that. And you have a little bit of an off, but not nearly as big. So we see how that goes there. Let's say that's quite a small dip. You would probably be seeing 139 going for a 140 run. So that is a guesstimation from these current levels in and around 112. Maybe you pick it up 110, 111, maybe if you're lucky 109, and then you're knocking on the door of near 140, which could, with a bit of overperformance, easily do $1.50 before having some degree of rest. But I would take off on the short time. So bear in mind, shorter time frames can be more sketchy, can be suddenly spoiled by a big announcement, by someone saying something stupid. Very big time frames, more reliable, much longer macro matters that have set up the three impulses. However, they move faster, they can be quick, and in a bull market where things are net generally up, you can get in and get out with a bit of leverage, cheeky leverage, if you understand money management, if you understand stop placement, if you understand position sizing with targets so that the juice is worth more than the squeeze. Asymmetric opportunities where the rewards are far larger than the risk is part of our game, which takes us back to your monkey puzzle. Yeah, your monkey puzzle. Let's go monkey puzzle time again. So what is the correct answer? What is the correct answer? Well, the smart lady said you pick the other door. So she picked door number 1. Let's put our orange doors back up there. There they are. And I'll tell you why we're doing this. It's not just for fun or weirdness and out of the blue randomness. There is something to all of this. It's the situation, it's the understanding of consistency and method in a probability game that over the long run, which might not pay you in an initial instance on one occasion, over the long run pays you a whole bunch more and sees you get better outcomes than the others. It's never about one trade. It's about staying in the game consistently and generally getting a micro edge that you compound over duration. It's the small baby habits you have that compounded over many years make you fat or make you fit and strong. And these are the key things in terms of trading and your profit building that are just the same. It works in all measures. So what did she choose? She chose 1 initially. So let's give her the 1. She chose 1 initially. So she said, yeah, number 1. Give me number 1, Bill. And the host, who knows what's behind the doors, it's important to mention that, he sets up the gig, opens door number 3, and it is a goat. So it is a goat. He now says, keep what you have, or choose number 2. What is the right thing to do? And many of you think there is no edge to be had. You can either stay on 1 because clearly it's either the 1 or it's the 2. You know it's not 3. So you've got a 50% odds, you might say. You've got a 50% odds of being right. Stand on where you are. The host is maybe trying to move you off. Or you pivot. And what did she say? Do you want to pick door number 2? Is it your choice advantage to switch? And the correct answer is... Because there is a correct answer, it's not the same. The correct answer is you always switch. You always switch. And some of you are going, what? 50-50 is 50-50. Does it mean if I'm 50-50 left or 50-50 right? Yes, because when you initially chose, your odds were only 1 in 3 of being accurate. That remains a fact, regardless of what new information has come. It remains the fact. Now you have a 50-50 chance of being right. You should switch. You should switch. So your initial choice had a lower potential. Now some of you are going, no, Francis, you're wrong on that. I don't get that. No, because you still might be right. So here's the thing. 1 in 3 versus 1 in 2. 50% right. And for those of you not understanding that, let me expand it to a deck of cards with 52, and you have to pull out the ace of spades. Let's say I give you a choice out of the 52. There it is. Pull me the ace of spades. You take 1 card. What's your chance of that being right? Below 2%. It's about 1.9%, because there's 52 cards. You took 1. So by expanding the number, the point is going to be rammed home. I now go through the remaining 51 cards, and I throw out 50 that are all not the ace of spades. I show them to you, 3 of hearts, 5 of diamonds. I throw out 50, and I leave 1 card down, and I ask you, do you switch or do you stay? And most of you now will realize that you switch. The chance at 1 of 52 that you miraculously chose the ace of spades at a sub 2% is very low. He's now eliminated 50 goats. That's right. I love that. A goat. They're actually quite cute. I like goats. Why are they the bad guys? Apart from the devil's eyes. I love them. And little rubby horns. No. Well, the correct answer is you absolutely switch. Because that you know now that it's not 2% on that one remaining card. It's 50% at minimum. That doesn't mean you will always win. So people get hung up on the outcome of an individual rather than the process of method over many. Can you hear what I'm saying to you? You might have pulled the ace of spades, 1 in 52, and you jumped off it to get some shit card, the 3 of diamonds in that case. But that will be very, very rare, especially on what I've just given you in the cards option. And it works the same on the smaller numbers too. And you see, understanding an edge, some people don't understand it, but this is the key. You need an edge, whether you understand it or not, and you don't need to overfret about a particular individual outcome. You need to think not just about this trade, but all the series of trades you will ever take. Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating puzzle, and I hope you enjoyed that. Now, another key giveaway. I'm going to give you value today. A huge giveaway. And we've still got the entertainment segment to come with Mikey Saylor. Yeah, I've got another minute 30. Good structure, crypto to share, so make sure you stay to the end. So here's what you need to think about in terms of what I expect is coming in when the market tops. And this was a very useful particular chart, and I'm going to show it to you. Let's have it back up again one more time, and let's expand that. There you go. So in fact, if I expand it, it takes away my pen, so I'm just going to make it super big in the square. So what we see here, what do we see here indeed? 2016, 547 days from the bear market low. So first of all, credit to Rec Capital. I'm taking his chart and building on it. So he did this initial draw up with all the details. It's not my work. That is the low, and he's highlighting 547 days to the halvening. These are the halvening lines. 548 days again. Well, not quite 547, 548 gave you the high. So these things aren't exact, but you have the idea. Low to halvening, halvening to high. That's basically what's going on here. Then you have low. I remember that low quite well. 517 days to halvening, 549 to high. Now, go back to what I said on gold and Bitcoin. For me, that's not the high. This is the high. And I think there's a month in between them. I want to check that. So allow me an indulgence, because I actually prefer the 517 number. So we're going to go back to Bitcoin. Where was he? We're going to clean our face. We're going to go back to the big charts and have a look at what was the time difference between the 64K April. So let's make this chart full. That was, oh, get out the way. April 21, November 21. That's quite a lot of extra days. It's quite a lot of extra days. So that was the 4 month, and this is the 11th month. So 4 to 11, that's about 6 going on 7 months. 6 going on 7 months. I'm not sure that's going to hold for me, because that on days. Let's take the dollar amount. Let's go back to the dollar amount and stay with his numbers. 548 into here, and he's taken the high 549. So you're sitting with either 547, 545 to 550, or 518, 515 to 520. That's typically the time to halvening and then the time to the other half. What did you get? You got 517 here, low to halvening. And my point is, stay with the 517 number. Let's just get that stupid draw off, go away. 517, I wouldn't project 548. Just because you've got 549, here you projected 518, you projected from the halving and you got your high. This, I question these, but that was a 549. I think you'll be at 517. I want to play safe. So we want to call the high 517. The difference between 548 and 517 is handily 31 days. So Wednesday, the 1st of October, all I need to do is go back 1 month. My more conservative timing for the high for Bitcoin, which is likely to coincide for the high with alts. Some of them continue to pop a little bit longer, but the minute if Bitcoin turns harsh, I think we get a blow off high and a fairly reasonable pullback. We're not going to get this complicated multiple highs with one of them being marginally higher for an extended period. I think we're more likely to get the blow off high in this one, and that you're going to have one particular high, not two very close. But who knows? Could be wrong. But I'm going to go 517 instead of 1st of October. I'm going to go, you want to be out 1st of September. So the final 2 weeks of August, lots of limit on blow off orders to close your leveraged, certainly some of your investment, perhaps all your investment, getting ready for gold ounces, maybe silver ounces. We'll see where that is going on. Don't forget to subscribe. By the way, subscribers, thank you very much for taking the Crypto Sniper through 50K. First of all, that's for you. Bravo. I appreciate the support. Second of all, many of you are leaving comments saying you've been unsubscribed. So even if subscribed, go and hit that subscribe button again. And while you're at it, go all alerts all the time. Hit that bell every time. Don't let them throttle you and decide when they want to show yours truly. Okay, so we're talking about 1st of September as the possible top. The region approximate. This is never going to be minute, day specific, but it's going to be there or thereabouts. And it's shown itself to be pretty accurate. And it was an interesting chart that Rec Capital did. Give him a follow on X as well, and credit to him for doing that work. Okay, so that's where I'm taking it. I'd go 30 days back inside of this, and I would say you want to start retreating from it. That said, we did also say that the Trump trade is an acceleration of crypto and you might get one of the most wild markets. That doesn't mean it needs to be longer. It means it could be more violently up in the same time. Okay, so understand that key point. It could be more violently to the upside. Our community, and this we're giving away value to you for free here. Our community is based on helping you execute this, that you do not wash out 40% of your all-time high, 50%, 60%, or be caught leveraged at the wrong time, that you are already preparing and winding back and accepting and locking in more of your final number, limit orders into a possible blow-off in the second half of August on all our best trades, rolling into the right ones at the key moments because they aren't all blowing off at the same time, getting the fast moving breakout trades with really limited risk, judiciously using leverage on a probability based outcome, but not on a single trade, something that is proven to work in a series of mentality, methodical approaches, a la the lady with 228 IQ, who probably doesn't have 228 IQ anyway, but is kind of smart nonetheless, and chose the right answer. And that is the thing. It's not about the individual one and how often you're right. It's how much money you make and also how much you keep at the end of the cycle. This could be an incredibly productive cycle with a real blow off. That means you might get a super spike to the top. Understanding the days and times for when this may happen is very interesting. We will be doing more research and helping you to execute well and reminding you, because this is 10 months away and you're going to get soft, you're going to get drugged, and you're going to get greed-eyed with dollar signs, and it's going to be the bigger the leverage, the bigger the account, the more I can do, waha, waha, waha. This is going to super cycle. This is going to overextend. No, 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 no. Get out and insure. There's sure as hell, there's always a bear market in the crypto markets, and they don't die, and they are brutal, and they take a lot away. Okay, and finally, there's that bit that you really need. That's the bit to protect yourself from the extractors who will be coming with their tax plans to bedevil you. Okay, then it's time. It's Mikey time. Before we go to another crypto that I'll be leaving you with for some upside. And this is him here, Patrick Bet Davis, I think it is. PBD Podcast. Me oh my. This is fascinating. And this is the dude putting him on the block for a reaction with Scottie Pippen. For those that are not American, he was a pretty great basketball player around the era of Michael Jordan, and I think it was the Chicago Bulls that he was in, and he was like, you know, the second guy that was just on it all the time. Anyway, so this is fascinating. Watch along with me while we listen to this, and remember, guys, we want to make money. We want to preserve capital. We want to do a lot of things, but at the same time, we want to understand the world a bit better each time. What's the truth of the situation? If you're coming in as a Bitcoin maxi, you might want to hear this. It might have an effect on your perception of the world. That's assuming you aren't already drugged into a belief system.
You're sitting next to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is a basketball player, used to play with Michael Jordan, and he's being asked about Satoshi. And Pippen makes claims about the fact that he's known him since the early 90s. And Michael, if there's any facial reactions that should end up being a meme or should be used for other videos, it's yours. Because, folks, I want you to focus on Michael's face. Mike, you don't make a lot of facial reactions. You're typically very stoic. But in this moment, you couldn't control yourself. I want to know why. Go ahead, Rob.
You mentioned you met Satoshi in Seattle in 1993. Yes. He also came to you in a dream. You have a nice relationship with Satoshi.
I feel like I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a story to tell. Definitely have an opportunity to meet him back in 1993.
You mentioned...
Now, what happened previous to that? What happened after that? Is he saying 1993? Is he confusing Satoshi with Michael Jordan? Who in 1993 Seattle? Is he thinking George Carlin as Satoshi? Sean Kemp? 93 during the...
Over to my house, and we had a nice dinner, and he came...
93 during the play. Who is he talking about here?
Look, I like Scotty, and he came over to my house, and we had a nice dinner on my yacht, and we talked all about Bitcoin, and it was awesome, and I have the greatest respect for him. I think that the interviewer kind of asked him an unfair...
fault. It's the interviewer's fault, and he's making big friends with a big popularity star. Meanwhile, you gave him hectic evils. It was like the Terminator with his flesh on and the Neuralink chip going, must terminate. Wow, what a freak. Did you see that reaction?
Question, and I was a little bit uncomfortable because us Bitcoin maximalists, we are very protective of Satoshi, and we don't, we don't like, we don't talk about Satoshi other than with reverence. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have.
What is this? Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club. Oh, you're not allowed to question. Do not question. Do not question. This is like Holocaust coding. It's starting to sound like here. One may not question. Otherwise, you get the evils.
I have much more to say on that other than, we know Satoshi came onto the world scene Halloween 2008, and we like to have all of our commentary starting Halloween.
How non-satanic that must be.
White paper 2008 onward, and otherwise, I think it's constructive that Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, has a relationship with Satoshi and talks about Satoshi, and it's endemic of the fact that.
He was looking at him because he was thinking that's peak bullshit. No one's met Satoshi because he doesn't fucking exist. Now he's saying it's constructive that he has a relationship with Satoshi. It's almost like Santa Claus. It's nice that he has his God or his imaginary friend that he can talk to. Oh, come on, man. This is hysterical.
Satoshi is the bringer of fire, Prometheus. He brought us sound money, and I think that's awesome. But
Did you guys
otherwise,
speak backstage? Were you like,
otherwise
who
I'm
you
not talking
about?
to you about my relationship with Satoshi. Satoshi is reverent.
To him, to Scotty is what you're saying. Or you're saying to you is
I
reverent.
just think Satoshi's very special. But
Did you guys have a...
Is this a tear jerking motion? Satoshi is very special. You see, the NSA, not only do these guys want to create your new digital system for you, they want you to worship them as gods. You know, oh, I get sensitive when I speak about them. You know, the reverence, the unholy, this up on high on a pedestal, this chariot in the sky. Oh my God.
a follow-up like you and
oh yeah, he came to my house that evening. We had a great time, a great discussion.
Did you ask him like, what do you mean you met him? Did he share anything with you or no? Like when he met him?
I threatened him with a fucking gun and I said, don't you ever pull that bullshit again. That's probably what happened.
I have no other insight to offer on the subject.
I got it. Well, listen, the rest of the world was curious when Scotty...
No further comment. He does sound like he's clamming up a bit, don't you? Don't you think people aren't comfortable when there's lies and BS? Statement analysis shows you. This guy is squirming. He is a squirming little weed.
said that. One, I was concerned about your neck because I thought you cracked your neck when you turned around. I don't know if you saw that or not. It was a very quick movement you made. And then the second part, everybody, if you play one more time, Rob. Again, just look at the neck reaction, folks. Not anything else, but watch this. Go ahead.
You mentioned you met Satoshi in Seattle in 1993. He also came to you in a dream.
Twice.
You have a nice relationship with Satoshi.
It is not fair that Burchella asked him the question, and I
Is
felt
that in
a
the
little bit
world?
surprised.
Is that inappropriate to ask the question in the world? Why did you get a little bit uncomfortable?
I think it's inappropriate.
He thinks it's inappropriate. This clown with the sheepish grin that is running the fake moon landing psyop type gig is telling you it's inappropriate to question or ask anything about the origin of your new prison digital money. Look at this BS artist. I smelt him a mile off. I can smell him. I can smell the stink on these ex-military, bailed out corporation, psyop running weasels that took the paycheck and are playing the game.
Why do you think that?
I think it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate for a big, it's like just inappropriate.
Really? Good answer.
Satoshi came onto the scene in 2008 Halloween with the white paper. Asking anybody about their relationship with Satoshi before that date is an unfair, inappropriate question.
It's almost as if it's...
Why? Why is it an inappropriate question to ask? Who was this person? What was his real goals? What's his character like? Who does he really work for? Does he have our best interests in heart? Don't ask whether he has your best interests in heart. Can you believe the BS here? This is like, I don't know how he actually... I mean, I have to give credit to Patrick Bet Davids. He probed him and the guy spilt his guts. This is a fraud exposure video on what he truly thinks. This guy is squirming and he is behaving extra normally freakazoid for me. It's inappropriate to ask. Who says, is this the Ministry of Truth already? And I've been re-listening to 1984 in the audiobook. The Ministry of Truth and the 2 minutes of hate. This is it. You're allowed your 2 minutes of hate. My goodness.
It was awkward, but that's all I have to say. I'm a big fan.
Why is it awkward? Why is it awkward? Who's your father? Luke? Who is your father? Why is it even awkward? It's only awkward if you're bullshitting, telling a fat lie, and it's Santa Claus for adults, as we have continued to assert since 2016. They will never let you have your own money. They can't afford, for their own power and entrenchment, to ever see the issuance of money and the ability to manifest liquidity ever be taken away from them as a power. Please understand this. Send this video to your Bitcoin maximalist friends. Hit the like button right now. Ensure you're subscribed right now. Go and hit the bell and say every time. Send this video of me ripping this guy with the assistance of PBD as to all your maximalist friends that think he's just a super Chad that bought into this amazing Prometheus. It's God. It is a God. Now it's a God-made creation. It's so wonderful. And whenever in tech, for the maximalists, whenever in tech is the first edition the best edition? Oh yes, Francis, who was riding his bicycle down Table Mountain on one of the mountain paths, instead of his carbon-framed e-bike with disc brakes front and rear, telescoping seat so he could get far back on the steep descents, rode down on a penny farthing. And instead of loading it in his 4x4 with a turbo V8 and a huge back seat and folding the seats back and putting it in the back there, he put it in his Model T Ford because that's the best. You know, I'd love to do that ride. I wouldn't love to do that ride down Table Mountain on a penny farthing and pack my penny farthing into whatever space I could hope to find in a Model T Ford. But it's the best. The first is the best. The first is the best.
Fan of Scotty, his greatest ever. I'm a big fan of Satoshi.
I love everybody. I don't want to talk bad about anyone.
I'll say it and you don't have to say anything. I get the feeling like, is there an element of looking at Satoshi as God, as Jesus in that space? Like, do some people look at him that way? Where it's not just this mysterious, anonymous inventor of Bitcoin, or is it like a almost like worshipped type of a character?
Satoshi's a spiritual figure in the Bitcoin.
Spiritual figure. Oh, a cult now. This is a cult. This is a cult. You have a divine leader. It's spiritual. They're now using spiritual about a dude who coded, who is probably a skunks work team of many dudes in NSA. And they're creating an avatar around this that we should all worship. All hail. It's like being the Aztecs when a white oak with a cannon, with a gun jumped off, a tall white Viking with off one of the, and all hail the god. All hail, thou must kneel.
Community. Satoshi is equivalent to Prometheus. Prometheus gave us fire. Satoshi gave us money. Bitcoin is the first perfect money. The first perfect money in the history of the human race.
Perfect money, but it's expensive. It's slow. Many things are quicker transactionally, faster, multiple layers. And they'll go, but no, we can do layers upon layers. We can put a turbo on your Model T Ford and wings and a jet engine. And actually, we can get close to those other speeds of those other cars. You know, the Ferrari, the F80 that's now out. No, really.
I spend my copious free time reading economic history, and I've read thousands of years of economic history and tens of thousands of pages, and it's one chaotic, disaster train wreck of we use seashells, we use bales of tobacco, we use silver and gold, and we clip the coins, and we had...
I've read more than you must believe me. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Seashells were better.
Bimetallism, and it crashed, and we had fiat currency, and we had a debt crisis, and no one ever had a money that was not defective. I mean, I can show you examples of
gold was 100% clean. In fact, the only reason gold isn't used, and that's because bent politicians want to issue more money than they have gold and create inflation because it is a permanent taxation on the people that actually add value and do the work so that they can live off the fruit of their labor, have power over them, use that money to control them, put laws on them and enslave them. And it is the people that create a slavery system, not the money. And your digital money ain't going to change the psychopaths in all the dark states from doing surveillance finance, mega prison financial system on you. That is a fact. And clean money, we've had clean money. Gold was clean. Okay, it's not practical transporting it around, but if you had an honest system where you didn't over issue pieces of paper for the amount of gold you had, you would have had it. Crooked, bent politicians, Federal Reserves, the Ashkenazi, Khazarian mafia, all the extractors, the mercantilists are the problem, not the money. And you're just bringing a digital version of the same money to the same crooks on behalf of them and taking a payment therefore.
Of monetary crashes every 30 years for the past 3,000 years in every single culture. And Satoshi comes along for the first time and says, oh yeah, here's money, it's not broken. And it's so profound.
We're not having monetary crashes every 30 years now because Bitcoin's here. Bitcoin's here. Human nature has been changed. We all must worship. Do not question. The Ministry of Truth says so. What a clown.
It's like, you look at this water, you sit down at a table and the poor person thinks, oh, I got to drink water. And the rich person wants to drink $1,000 bottle of champagne or wine or something. But for 100,000 years, humans didn't have clean water. Right? If you read the history of civilization, people are dying in their 30s and 40s and 20s because the water's dirty, because they're getting infected. If you were Henry VIII, you didn't have clean water. the reason they all had gout is they had to drink wine with alcohol in it, and they ended up with degradation of their limbs because they didn't have clean water. So we only have clean water, clean air, clean food that doesn't kill us. We only have it for the past 100 years. We had dirty money from 3 million BC all the way up to January 3rd, 2009. We have dirty money, and there's one guy that actually finally gives us clean.
We didn't have dirty money. Gold was clean money. We had dirty politicians, dirty kings who were encouraged to do war that encouraged them to overborrow, and an usury extractor system, which will not disappear with Bitcoin. You will have it as security for loans, and all the same usury extractors, pawn peddlers, mercantilists, gamble promoters, all those things will continue to exist in your new
clean money, non-toxic. It does not kill us. So is it spiritual? Yeah, it's spiritual. It's like, what happens when I inject poison and toxic into the veins of my kids? They're dying.
You mean like CV19?
It's like forcible chemotherapy to a 12-year-old.
Brought to you by the same guys that are busy now legging up, Lowell Finkelstein and all of them, the Bitcoin. Oh, how nice.
Athlete, that's the problem. All these companies have a useful life expectancy of 10 to 15 years. You know why? Because the capital is toxic, because the money that they capitalize on is toxic. It's sucking the life out of them. Satoshi comes along and he gives you non-toxic money. And who else did it before him? Nobody.
The gold standard was 100% clean. You went and fought. Kissinger coerced the likes of Kennedy and then subsequently Nixon into the Vietnam War. You dropped more munitions. You kept issuing pieces of paper. You didn't have any new gold. You overissued. The rest of the world called your bullshit. And as a result, you gave up the link to the gold standard because politicians and people are bent. They are encouraged to make war on the basis of, oh, you can get more resources. You can steal their resources. Warmongery brought to you by the Ashkenazi King Kissinger. Who's all part of, they must have nothing and we must rule the world. We are chosen. Our God has chosen us, which is the same as being master race, which means they're basically the Nazi they claimed and projected on.
So you got to actually hold with reverence the person that actually gave the human race the first clean, perfected money. And you look after that point, you're like, oh man, like we're not dying anymore. Infant mortality rate's 40% before clean water. It's like 4 out of 10 of your kids are going to drop dead, and I give you clean water, and I say, take this, it won't kill them. And you're like, what? So the point is, it's a pretty profound paradigm shift, and it's
a digital token to clean water when you already had clean money. And he's ignoring who spoiled the clean money. And those same people are the architects behind it. This goes on. You can have fun with it. Mikey Saylor, well done for not talking about liberty, not talking about freedom, not talking about privacy, not preventing individuals from status overreach and surveillance finance in any of this, and actually bastardizing the original OGs. Whatever happened to CZ, Roger Ver, and all of those guys? They served their purpose for a stage onboarding people seeking freedom and liberty on a fake narrative, and now they've gone and the pump the bags influencers are now in of Mikey Saylor, Raoul Powell, and all the others. Never mind the surveillance finance, pump your bags, pump your bags, pump your gads. There's no morality here. These people are paid merchants to proliferate this. Let's go and finish on the final 30-minuter that I was going to give you. A bit of a setup. Yes, we'll help you pump your bags. Yes, we'll help you money. We will not sell you a lie. We will call out lies. This man stinks up the place every time I see him. Oh, I had Scotty Pittman on my yacht. Oh, yes, maritime law on your yacht. Did you put his head underwater and say, don't you ever talk a BS like that, otherwise I'll snap my neck, giving you the evils. Here we go. AVAX is one. We were expecting a little bit of a downward dip. It seems like it's coming. Upside potential move to $42. It's the minute, it's an hourly now. So we're on the H1. A little bit of a dip off. I would imagine Bitcoin's coming off. We expect maybe a little move up for a third high and then a move up to 42. You could try collect it at in and around the $33 spoke 36 cents, $33.15. If it gets down that far, it might then rally, make a marginally higher high, bounce around a bit. But in due course, we would expect for the 42.36 to fill. This has not yet got its RH3. It's not yet got its RL3. We have two good impulses so far in terms of what we expect on upside HVF. It's another one you could watch. I expect XRP and or and we'll see where this ends, to probably break in and around the other time. ADA has already added second interim. ADA will probably go from its second interim hopefully to targets, also probably pulling back at that second interim for a little bit as part and parcel. So in this video you have got 3 XRP, AVAX, a reminder on ADA, potential short time frame setups. Remember all the things that go with short time frame trading. If you don't know how to money manage position size, where to put stops often harvest losses. You need a low volatility setup. Watch for the squeeze. Until you've got the surety of your third low, you should probably use the second low. Then you can tighten it later once you have a triggering event. All this is really important. We help you with that. Get your free course on the link below. Get a short 3 to 6 minute video from us every day for a week to give you some of the basics. It's totally free on us. If you're ready to get serious and want to maximize your wealth building in a no BS Mikey Saylor type environment, where we call it what it is, but we do our damnedest to get you the best life, the best wealth, and the best existence, and protect that wealth in reset times, where you can also look at structures that will protect you from the capital gains that are likely to befall you if we have a mega bull market, which is why I think the last one got a bit contained. They were still trying to get their guns in a row. They now got rid of CZ. They own Binance. They've got most of it. They will certainly be sending out the tax and the profit certificates and your owings to your local extraction agency and the Ministry of Truth. That'll tell you Satoshi is relevant. He is spiritual. He's Prometheus. He is godlike. He's the first person to give us clean money. Only gold was clean, silver was clean, but the coin trimming name changes did pervert it. As they will do this system. It is never money that is dirty. It is the people. Till next time, you're with the Crypto Sniper, the Market Sniper, the Reset Sniper. Hit that like, hit that share. Thank you for watching, and be careful, own your own trades. We take no responsibility, non-advisory, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Share it to your local Bitcoin maxi. What an outing of Michael Saylor. Who advises that guy to actually get stumped like that? He got properly questioned and he folded. He folded like a pair of pajamas, my friend. Till next time, I'll catch you later. All the best.
Tired of profit wipeouts and blown accounts from following trade signal groups and other YouTube channels? Looking for a better way to trade, reduce your stress, and minimize your risk? Become a skilled technical analyst and see the charts and markets in a new light using the successfully proven HVF method by Francis Hunt, while being surrounded and supported by a principled, structured, and experienced community. Enjoy a constructive learning environment while practically trading markets, supported by a bespoke platform run through browser and app, specifically designed to teach and engage you whilst learning and growing as the markets move. This is not a Telegram or Slack signal group. All trade ideas are based on a proprietary technical analysis process honed over decades, which is the HVF method, leading to trade ideas with fast-moving breakouts and tight stops, exact entries and exits, nuanced interim considerations, and ultimately, strong rewards. Submissions are graded and scored by Francis for potential high-quality setups, and we provide bespoke tools to help get the job done properly and with precision. Over time and with focused effort, you'll begin to look at charts and price action just like Francis. Community updates every day by Francis and our 3 webinars a week provide a 360-degree approach, which are presented by our experienced team of trade leaders to spot potential trades. We're a community of self-actualized individuals, spanning the globe and active 24/7, 365. The premium community provides a warm, supportive, and cooperative place for people willing to listen, participate, contribute, and to learn. We've changed thousands of traders' lives. Transform your approach to trading now. Transform your life. Book an introductory call with us on the link below.